So we left Wichita Falls yesterday morning at 6 a.m. and we actually got to the Buffalo Bayou RV Park in Karnak, Texas, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. And we were kind of tired, but I pumped up the kayaks and we couldn't resist. And we went kayaking, and because they're inflatable kayaks, and we bought 2 inflatable kayaks. They were on clearance, but they were brand new, sealed boxes and everything. And the larger one, the right pontoon, the inner bladder, because they're double wall, there's a PVC inner bladder and the nylon covering. And it's good construction. I mean, they're $300-400 kayaks, and we got them for like 99 bucks. And, but it's got, around where the valve is, it has a slow leak. And we got it on the water about 4:30, and the sun goes down around 6:30. And we forgot to bring our headlamps, but we weren't that familiar with what was out there either. But back to the leak. So around the valve, there's a slow leak where the valve is sealed into the PVC. And we actually had one of those kayaks and we returned it because it had a slow leak around the valve. So I kind of knew that's what it was. So today we ran to Walmart and I got some Flexi Seal. And I'm not sure it's going to work or not because it's nothing to really patch. It's where the valve sits in the bladder. So I coated it all with Flexi Seal. I'm going to give it 24 hours to dry. And hopefully tomorrow we will have patched that slow leak. So we paddled out here, and so if the boat ramp at the RV park is free, and it's awesome. I mean, it works great. And we got out on the boat ramp, and my kayak was all full of air, and we made it around, and I think it's the Big Bayou. Might not be the name. I'll annotate it what it really is. I think it's the Big Bayou channel is right out here. Now this behind me actually is Stumpy Lake, and you used to be able to cut through here to go to Benton Lake. It empties out into Benton Lake, but a tree fell down and I got my kayak up on it and I couldn't get over it because I got a little fin that sticks down. And so we turned around, we went out into the big channel and we went around the long way, and it's only like half a mile, but when you're kayaking, I mean, that takes a while, right? So we made it to the inlet of Stumpy Lake and we got into Stumpy Lake, and it was really pretty, and I got some shots from there. And those turned out, I thought, pretty good. And I want to get to Benton Lake because that's the prize here. So, so we came out of Stumpy Lake and we kept going. But my right pontoon, my boat started doing this, right, where I'm sitting in the middle. And it started getting harder and harder. I mean, the bottom line was I was kind of sinking, and which is not a good thing in alligator-infested waters. And so we went past Stumpy Lake a ways, and I think we were almost at the entrance to Benton Lake, but the alarm went off because we set an alarm half the time to 6:30. At 6:30 it's dark. And so we turned around and started coming back. And by the time I got to the boat ramp, the boat was getting, the bow was a half a foot off the water. It was kind of hard to paddle. So like I said, I got some Flexi Seal. I don't know, it might work, it might not. It's just a very slow leak, but hopefully the Flexi Seal will do it. And I coated it around the valve, and we'll give it 24 hours. We'll see if that stuff's any good or it's just a bunch of nonsense. And if not, it's no big deal. There are plenty of places to photograph. As a matter of fact, the photography might be better from the land because it's dark out there, and my exposures have been running like a half a second, a fifth of a second to a half a second to 1 second. That's without a neutral density filter on. You don't need a neutral density filter, nothing's moving. And that's at f8 at 1/25th ISO. And so, so the photography from the land is actually a little bit better, I think, than trying to beach yourself and all the trouble you have to do when you're, I mean, moving kayak, you know, I've watched other videos where people are out on kayaks and canoes and stuff, and they're shooting at ISO 6400 and stuff. That's not the kind of photography I have in mind. So I'm photographing this scene behind me here. It looks kind of interesting. Well, I mean, everything out here looks interesting. It's really fascinating. 2 days ago, if you'd said, well, let me put it this way. 2 days ago, I was a little trepidatious about coming to a giant, the world's largest bald cypress swamp. And I see, with alligators and all kinds of creepy crawlies. There is something about this place that is just so, you just relax. I don't know what it is, but there's something extremely peaceful about it. It's hard to describe. It's like out in those kayaks, even though I'm sinking in alligator infested waters. And I shouldn't make such a big deal about the alligators. The largest alligator that's out there is only 900 pounds and about 12 feet long. So there's nothing to really worry about, just because it can swallow a kayak whole is no reason to really get too upset about it. At least that's what I keep telling myself. And so, yeah. So, if you can come down here, I highly recommend it. And so far, I will tell you, this is one of the nicest RV parks I've ever stayed at. The people here are extremely friendly. The rules aren't crazy. They make sense. They're not, they're very friendly. It's clean. The hookups are perfect. There's no fooling around. I mean, yeah, it's really done right. And considering you're 50 feet from a swamp, I mean, it's amazing. So, and Mossy Oak Kayak Rentals is right across the road. We walked there last night and today. And I mean by walk there, I meant we went the 500 feet to where it's at. So if you want to rent a kayak, you can do that too. Which I don't know. I might break down on Monday and do that if mine is still sinking. So we'll see.